But James Burkhardt is here. He's our host of today's Christian Music interview show. And he's going to share a little bit about Christian radio for a few minutes. Amen? So give Jim a hand, and God bless you.
Okay, well, good afternoon. That's how we always start the radio show. Right, Zach?
Where's that? There he is.
Right there.
There's Zach. All right, well, I'm going to do this looking at the screen. Would you mind holding this? All right. How many of you listen to Christian radio? All right. Are you happy with what you're hearing? All right, that's what I thought. Now, here's the state of Christian radio today. Radio programmers, music directors, only have about 3 slots every month to add a new song. That's a very low threshold compared to what it used to be. And there's about 35 record labels and radio promotion people representing hundreds of independent artists that are fighting every week for one slot or part of one slot. And these guys and every radio station network, whether it's CBN or K-Love or Salem or The Fish, there's one guy called a music director who makes the decision. And he's bombarded every week, okay? Now, you ask why this is the state of things. Okay, listeners like to hear their favorite songs 70 to 100 times a week. That's about once every 2.5 hours at the most. Usually they cycle through the top 10 somewhere between every 2 and 3 hours. And they like to listen to those songs for a shelf life of 7 to 8 months on average. So that means you hear the same thing over and over and over. The reason is that by the time we get sick of it, those of us in radio, the audience is just starting to catch on. So it takes time. You've got to allow time for these things to gel. But there's even a more serious issue than the lack of availability for new music. And this is going to shock you. You can't, I don't know if you can see the top 2, but about 28% of the audience listens to radio to hear new artists and new music. Everything else, all those other reasons above this graph, have nothing to do with hearing new songs, new music, whatever. It's all very, we like what we like, and we want to hear it, excuse me, over and over and over and over again. So, like I said, only 28% of listeners listen to radio to hear new music and new artists. Looks like a stacked deck, doesn't it? Okay. So, why or where are the other 72% who are listening? Where are they finding new music and new artists? Okay, it's pretty simple. They're finding them on YouTube, blogs, reading about it, and on podcasts. So, here's some good news. That's why CSMI has a weekly podcast radio show called Today's Christian Music, where we feature interviews with CSMI artists. Zach was on, ML Morlock was on with me, several others. We're gonna have to get Erskine one of these days. Anyway, it's a 30-minute show on Blog Talk Radio. We record it every Monday from 6 to 6:30 Eastern Time, which is 5 to 5:30 Central Time here in Nashville. We generally do 24 minutes worth of interview where you get to tell your story, talk about a song, talk about your social media, and then we'll play a 5, 6, 7-minute song, whatever you want, but one. And I play it at the very end of the show, and I promote it 2 or 3 times before we get to it so that people hang around and want to hear it. Now, it's also a place to promote your social media, your website, and your booking information, because we want to see you expand, get out there, get known, expose your music, and so on and so forth. So remember, today's Christian music. And shows are available to promote on social media. There's links right from the show that we can send you after the show's recorded. So you can promote it on Facebook and Twitter, email, right from there. So your email list can hear what was said, you know. You can put it on Facebook, you can share it amongst yourselves. It's very well laid out and very effective, I think. And this is open to all CSMI members. All you gotta do is get a hold of me. Now, if you want to take out your cell phones, I'm gonna give you how to get a hold of me. On the screen, just take a screenshot. You can email me at musicmarketer@gmail.com. That's musicmarketer@gmail.com.
Musician.
Musicians marketer, sorry. I've been talking to too many people today with some very good things. And musicians marketer is a very interesting thing the Lord has opened up for me. It's part of something I call global awareness marketing. But this is where you get a hold of me about that. That's my name, that's how you spell it, that's my cell phone. If you dial me now, this phone in my pocket will ring, I guarantee you. So, anyway, we want you to take advantage of this. We don't want you to be caught up trying to swim upstream like poor salmon, you know, in Lake Michigan and other places, going against the current. And I'm not trying to discourage you from contacting radio or going that direction, if that's what the Lord's leading you. I am just telling you the state of what radio is. I'm not happy about it. It's not like it used to be, but it's just the way it is. So we got to deal with it. And that's why Gene has come up with today's Christian music and why I host it. Because I love what you guys are doing and we love to promote it. Love, love, love to promote it. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
I guess you must have forgotten about your name. It was not inspiring.
We have that show.
Yeah, but not with me. That was
with Tyler, yeah.
That was with Tyler Garth.
Yep, James took over about 6 months.
That's okay.
You took over from him.
I
Yeah.
took over from Tyler. Yep. Indeed, I did. Now, since I've been to Berklee College of Music and I've got a degree in music business and production, do any of you have any questions about what's going on in the music industry or anything like that? Because part of what I do through global awareness marketing is I help different musicians with different problems and challenges with publishing and with licensing and production and booking and all sorts of stuff, and how to cross-pollinate in other genres, and so on and so forth. So, okay, I think there's someone in the back. You got it?
I know most everyone knows that they need a PRO, a performing rights organization. They either need to be
BMI, ASCAP, right.
Okay, but where it gets confusing is sound exchange and the whole monetization that's involved with the digital downloads. And if you could just touch base on that a little bit, and so in addition to the performing rights organization, what is something that every musician needs to be taking care of? And is it enough just to have CD Baby Pro take care of some of that extra stuff, or is there an extra step that you could recommend the artists to make sure that they cover so that they are covering all of the monetization for Spotify, Pandora, Cyrus Radio, everything?
Right, okay. There's about 3 or 4 questions in there, but that's all right. I'll address them. ASCAP and BMI pays royalties for things that are mechanical. They're not related to selling CDs. It's related to over-the-air airplay. So in order to qualify to get most of BMI and ASCAP royalties, you have to have a song on the radio. She mentioned Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange is what internet radio and streaming audio things like sntradio.com, which is the radio station I've been running for 10 years, on the internet 24/7, and Pandora, and all the others. We pay royalties, and those are generally paid to the song writers. And that's where you get money off the internet. Now, there's 3 areas as an artist that you can monetize, where you get money. You get money from music publishing, which is the #1 income generator for every musician. You get money from selling CDs, which is where CD Baby and Amazon and iTunes and Apple Music. And there's an organization that will put you on 35 different websites called TuneCore, TUNECORE. That was founded by a couple of my professors at Berkeley, College of Music in Boston. It's an excellent organization to get your music out there, all sorts of places. They sell your CD, they place it on sites other than CD Baby, and you'll get a percentage. I think it's like 90% of whatever is sold. They keep, I think it's less than 10% for doing it, and you pay an annual fee. I think it's like $35 a year to belong to TuneCore, and you get per CD. So if you have 3 CDs and you put them on TuneCore, you'll pay like $35 each up front, and they'll place them in these 30 or 40 different websites and things like that. And then next year you get a renewal notice, and they'll on all those things. Some people have great success with TuneCore. It's more mainstream music, but I know a lot of Christian artists do very well with it. So I recommend TuneCore to everybody. I also recommend CD Baby and CD Baby Pro, because that works and you have a little more influence and control over things. It's not just a listing, even though like with Amazon and some of these other places, they're giving artists more freedom in the way they market the music and stuff like that. Now, the third area where you get monetization is by performing. So you got to get out there, and if you're not going to sell tickets, you're going to take a love offering. That's where you get some money. But when you perform, if you have an effective, what we call merch table or a concession where you have t-shirts, hats, keychains, all the tchotchkes, little different things, plus your CDs, you make money. And what global awareness marketing will help you do is figure out what is the best combination of stuff for your merch table. What is the best pricing? What are the best resources? Where do you go to get this stuff manufactured? You know, we have access to all that. We also have access to all the bloggers, all the radio stations, you know, everything to help you tour, everything to help you sell records, even help you make records if you want. Or we can help you with the music publishing, which is where you get into licensing for film and TV, which is one of my favorite things to do for different artists. Or find cooperative deals where you license a song to another artist who records it. You get royalties as they sell the song on their sites. Or if you do a duet, which to me is really cool, where you get someone who's got a fan base over here, and your fan base is over here, and you do a song together, guess what? Their fan base is going to hear you, your fan base is going to hear them, and you grow your fan base together. And it's something that can be done very easily and a 50-50 split so that, you know, it's just real cut and dried, and it's a way to grow your audience just by doing a duet. Free advice. Okay, did that answer all your questions?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Yes?
I've been to TuneCore and CD Baby Pro, and TuneCore, the only thing I didn't like about TuneCore is for every album I had on there, I had to re-up that album every year.
I know.
But CD Baby, you don't have to do it, which is
The advantage is, with TuneCore, you're on 35 different sources of distribution, whereas CD Baby, you're on one. So that's where I think the trade-off is, and you just have to monitor where your sales are coming from. But TuneCore, they really believe in artists, and this was born out of the desire to take on and compete against the problem that most artists have, getting their songs discovered and heard and so on and so forth. So it's your choice. I recommend it though, because I think the more exposure you have out there in the world, in the marketplace, the better off you're going to be. Yes, sir.
Is most of your podcasts with people that are CCM artists, or basically do you have like the singer-songwriter, praise and worship people in there?
If they're a CSMI member,
Yeah.
we'll interview anybody. I mean, I've talked to Gene, I've talked to Joe Beck. Well, we're going to talk to Joe Beck, I should say. We've worked that out today. And, you know, other industry people and everything else. But no, it doesn't necessarily, you know, the show's called Today's Christian Music for a reason. But I like people who know how to, I hate the word crossover because it's so misunderstood within the Christian marketplace, because most people say, you're selling out. No, you're taking the gospel to the world when you cross over, I think. And there's a lot of opportunity out there where the gospel, Southern gospel, black gospel, the folk, the bluegrass, even some jazz, they'll embrace songs in the same genre, even if they have a very solid, strong Christian message, if the music is right, if it fits right. And you can do things that will appeal, like I said, to more audiences outside this very insular Christian marketplace. And the other shocking thing I'll tell you is that a low percentage of Christians listen to Christian radio. It's small. I haven't looked to see what the latest percentage is, but it's under 20%. And this ties in with the fact that only less than 3% of Christians read their Bible every day. Less than 7% pray every day. So, you know, there's people that call themselves Christian, but are they really active and engaged in it? It's kind of questionable based on some of the marketing research I've seen. So we've got to take the message out from the four walls of the church into the streets. And I had a little word for everybody last night about that. So, that answer your question? Okay, anyone else?
I just had a quick comment, James, just some subject that you're talking about. And I just want to encourage all the artists, never underestimate the power of giving away your download card or giving away your CD. Because, man, you just never know whose hands that's going to go into. And especially when you're looking at missions. Because we've been working with some J1 students. For those of you who don't know what J1 means, the J1 stands for the visa, J1 visa, work visa. The students that come over from other countries that are here working, and specifically like in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg or the Dells or, you know, wherever there's just tons of people, they need extra workers. And we've really been reaching out to these J1 students, and we've been giving away our CDs and our download cards. And I noticed on tracking where things are being played, the downloads and where people are listening, Dominican Republic, Haiti, all the people that we've been giving these away to are going back to their countries and listening to the music. And you know, Gino had a word of prophecy years ago that said, the words that I have given you will reach many nations. And I've always been praying that back to the Lord. Lord, you said this, you know, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that ministering to these J1 students would really duplicate and replicate, you know, these songs getting to these other countries. And so I just want to say, you know, you think that your box is small or that your circle is small. Really, really be a giver and share what God has given you with a generous heart, and God will put it into the right hands that more people will be able to listen to this. But really, you have to get it out there to people who are a different circle. So don't just look at your circle, look at people who have a bigger circle than you and get it to them. Yeah. And boy, you'll be amazed at what God will do.
It's true.
Right, and let me just say that all that contact information to line up an interview on Today's Christian Music is also the contact information to get a hold of me to talk about how global awareness marketing can help your music get known all around the world and get into other nations and influence. So thank you for paying attention.
I have one thing to mention if I could real quick.
Sure.
There's also this thing called DistroKid, where you pay $20 a year. I'm doing it right now. It gets your music on all the digital download areas, you know, like Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon. It doesn't do the hard copy distribution, like CD Baby might. CD Baby?
Yeah, but
But it's called DistroKid, and it's really cool. It's $20 a year, and it gets you on everything. I mean, it's within a week you'd be on everything, so that's another option.
Distro, like distribute?
DistroKid.
DistroKid.
yeah, that gets you on a lot of streaming audio sites and can get your music out there, but people still have to know who you are in order to seek your music out, and that's where the awareness marketing is so important. So anyway, God bless you richly. Thanks.